when you write C++ code in Visual Studio Code, how can you actually compile and run the code in order to test your program? Well, good news, because you can do that directly from Visual Studio Code. So we're gonna start with this very simple code, which is just a main that prints some text. And we're gonna try to compile this from Visual Studio Code. And first of all, note that this tutorial is a very simple one for beginners, okay? I won't go over complex options, just compile and run the programs in a minimalist way. And then after that, you can learn further with more options, etc. if you want to. So first of all, if you want to compile any C++ code, you will need the C++ compiler, okay? And how to make sure you have the C++ compiler? So what you can do is you can open here a terminal, let's say new terminal, and you can do G++ dash version, okay? So G++ dash version is going to give you the version of G++, which is the C++ compiler that you have. So if you have something like this, well, whatever version is fine, it means that you have G++. If you have something like G++ command not found, well, it means that you don't have the C++ compiler installed on the computer. And well, if you're on Linux or macOS, you should have G++ already installed, but on Windows, this may be not the case, so you will need to install G++. So in this video, I'm not going to show you how to install G++, this is not exactly the topic of the video, but you can find the link in the description, okay, if you are stuck at this point, so you can install G++ and then come back to the video. Okay, I'm going to close that. And now that you have G++, well, let's check the first method you can use. So this method, when you have just, let's say, one simple file and you don't want to use anything in the terminal, this option, well, we are going to use just the extensions of Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to go here, view, so I have a special layout, but make sure you have show activity bar here. So view appearance, show activity bar. On this here, extensions, you can see I have two installed extensions. So you're gonna install first C and C++ extension from Microsoft. Okay, so you just install it. For me, it's already done. And then, so you can search here, okay? And then you're gonna install, and this is the important one here, the Code Runner extension. Okay, so you can search for Code Runner and install it. This is the one that will allow you to run the C++ code directly in the Visual Studio Code without having to type anything in the terminal. Okay, and to complete the installation of this extension, actually, you're going to go on File, Preferences, Settings, and here. So on the left, you have everything. You go on Extensions, you go down, Run Code Configuration, okay? And you go down and you will find those options here, Run in Terminal, and save all files before run. Okay, so just check those two boxes as it will make your life easier when using this Code Runner extension. All right, so now that you have installed this, maybe you will need to restart Visual Studio Code, okay, to make sure that everything is correctly installed and set up and configured. And what you will see is you will have a play button here. So this is the play button of the Run Code extension. So you just click on this play button, and you can see now we have compiled the code, and the code runs. Compile me if you can is printed here on the terminal, directly inside Visual Studio Code. So that was the first method if you don't want to type anything in the terminal and want to just try something quick. And I usually use this method as well. Now let's see how you can actually compile a single file directly from the terminal inside Visual Studio Code. So first, well, you have the terminal here that was opened with the Code Runner extension, but let's say you don't have the terminal open, you can just go on View and Terminal. This is going to open the terminal again. And now let's analyze actually what we had before, okay? You can see that we have all of those commands. So cd basically is going to go inside the directory where we are here, and then it's gonna compile the file and run the file. So you can see you have the command, okay, the compilation command right here. So if you want to compile this file, you can do G++ main.cpp, which is the file to compile, and then -o for output main. So basically -o allows you to choose what is going to be the name of the executable. So if you run this command, it's going to compile the main.cpp file, which is this one, into the main executable. Okay, I press enter and it's working. So the main executable is now here on the left. Okay, you can choose any name you want. Okay, I could do test and look here on the left. I press enter and you have test.exe. And then, well, depends if you are on Windows or a Linux system. If you are on Windows, you do dot / and then the name of the executable. So not necessarily with the .exe, but just like this. And you can see it's going to run the executable. If you are on Linux systems, you do /. All right, so that's how you can compile a single file directly from Visual Studio Code in the terminal of the IDE. Also very important is that note that if you modify the code here, make sure to compile again and then run the executable again. Because if you just run the executable, this is the executable that was compiled from this code. If you change the code, the executable is still the same from the previous code. So make sure to keep that in mind. All right, and the third method I'm going to show you is actually when you have multiple files like this. So I'm going to quit that. And so here I have a main.cpp, and in this I use mycomputations.hpp, which is a header file here. So let's do this here. So I have a header file and an implementation file, okay? So one CPP file that uses a library which contains a header file and a CPP file. Now the thing is, if you just run this command like that, on this file it's not gonna work. Also, if you just run with the code runner like this, it's not gonna work either. So maybe there is a way to make it work with code runner, but here instead I'm going to focus on how you can compile from the terminal of Visual Studio Code from multiple files manually. And so first, make sure that you are in the correct directory. Okay, so here we are not in the one file directory, we are in the multiple files directory. So I'm going to do cd ... to go back one directory, and then cd multiple files with auto completions. So by pressing tab, and I press enter, and now I am in the multiple files directory, which is that one. Okay, very important. I'm going to do clear. And now how to compute this. So you're going to do G++ also with main.cpp, but then you're gonna add every CPP file that you have in your program. Okay, so here we use, so we include this header file, okay, and the implementation for this header file is here, mycomputations.cpp. So mycomputations.cpp. Okay, so you don't add the header files, you just add the C++ files. Okay, so we have two C++ files that are linked because this one uses that one actually. So you just put the files like this, and then -o, the same. So with a space actually, -o, and then the output you want. So the name of the executable. For example, my program, let's say it's named my program. I press enter. And now you can see I have myprogram.exe, so it would just be my program on Linux system and .exe with Windows. And I can run, so / on Windows, my program, and you can see we have the code that is running here. So if you want to compile multiple files, make sure you add all the C++ files here after G++. And then -o, name of the executable. So everything is going to be compiled together inside one single executable that you can then run. If you like this video, subscribe to get more tutorials like this in the future. Also, check out my online courses so you can learn C++ step by step in an efficient way by practicing and directly going to the point. Links in the description. Alright, thank you for watching, see you in the next tutorial or in one of my courses.